Zdravo, zdravo. Thank you.
Bogey, when you reflect on where you guys started this season and maybe what the expectations were to kind of what the reality shook out to be, what's one of your biggest takeaways?
Um, I'll say not successful year. Um, Definitely we was aiming for higher goals, but that's how the sport works sometimes. We didn't figure it out. Um, I'm just happy. That everyone put uh, a lot of effort into it. Whatever that means. To everyone personally. But I know a lot of guys were working hard. Yeah, it didn't fit together. We didn't play together. At the end of the day, basketball is team sport, and we couldn't figure it out to win games. But a lot of guys has had nice seasons, and on top of that, we had a lot of injuries, So difficult year for all of us, but we gotta move on.
Bogey, at the beginning of the season when I talked to you, you said you wanted to improve your defense, especially because from the previous season, guys have been going at you, and you think teams were kind of targeting you. How do you feel like you did defensively over the season?
I think Quinn challenged me a lot. Starting from last year, I felt I improved a lot, but it started with working on my body, and be ready, physically ready. That was like one of my main issues after the surgery 2 years ago. I was kind of getting used to it, So now everything is good. I feel like I never felt like this in my life, honestly. So I'm just happy that I'm going through that phase as well, and I'm happy that I improved my defense this year.
What do you hope to kind of work on for next season and taking that next leap? I know when
Yeah.
you're in the league as long as you've been, and sometimes it's hard to find those things to kind of take that next step. But what is it for you?
To me, I feel like I should be more efficient, like personal goals, but also like work towards like team communication and team stuff. It's really important to address some things maybe earlier in season and something that you see, and not just okay, let's wait a little bit, it might change and blah blah. So yeah, on as a personal thing, probably efficiency. Watch a little bit of tape to see where did I miss a lot, where should I make other decisions, and probably communicate more with everyone.
For
What
sure.
sort of communication things do we should sort of
They take more like you know I don't know if I'm veteran or I'm young. I'm in that phase right now, so uh, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I should take that veteran role a little bit more, and when it's time to be a young guy, switch up and be a young guy as well. And if you know what I mean, like just talk more, just express your feelings and what do you feel about the game, what do you feel about the team, um, and that's it.
What does it mean to you to have broken the single season 3-point record?
I mean, it means a lot, honestly. All these years, I never tried to break the record, but when it's funny, all these years you're working, you're constantly improving your game. You know, I came here with opportunity to play the game that I love, and I was hoping for better role than I had in Sacramento, and now I broke the franchise record in 3 points, which I never thought I will do honestly, but it happened, and I think everything mattered, my teammates, coaches, fans, arena. I love to play in an arena, and I see that as a bigger picture, and like I give credit to everyone that it's part of success.
You mentioned the next step you'd like to take personally. So on a team level, what would you like to see to have more success next season?
Buy into the roles, and more sacrifices. We didn't sacrifice enough. I feel like in my experience when I play for the successful teams, and it's not necessarily like winning a championship, but just feeling good overall. Because you can lose the game, but there is a ways that you lose, and I feel like everyone sees that the energy and all that stuff. So yeah, sacrificing more for the teammates and doing the little things that matters for win.
What does sacrificing look like, I guess? Like, when you mean that, like, what is that?
It's like when we all practice all these moves and all the stuff, you create the habits, and then there's stuff that somebody tell you, "Hey, do it this way," the other way that you don't like to do it, and that's the sacrifice. You gotta do it. That's it. On both ways, defensively, offensively. Sometimes we are too locked in on ourselves and individual stats or whatever, and we compete with each other. And there is a healthy competition, but it could be unhealthy too. So you have to know the levels of it.
So it's fair to say maybe some players sacrifice more than others, maybe, or not
It,
consistently.
it changed, when you play good, then you want to sacrifice more. When you play bad, oh, I gotta get to mine, and that's how it works. But if you have a maybe we don't value as much like little things, like good defensive plays. We all want to score. We all want to have points. We all have, there's NBA is a big league, big marketing, a lot of money. So you gotta be able to handle all of that.
But you won't necessarily have a ton of time to take some time off with the Olympics coming up. Just how much time will you be able to maybe rest a little bit before you get back to training with Serbian team?
I mean, I'm kind of already motivated, for Olympics, because it's a special event, special thing. I don't think we will ever see those type of players together, representing the USA and competing. So it'll be really fun to go out there and compete against them. It's gonna be a different game, probably, but I'm looking forward to it, and I gotta get ready, gotta stay ready.
What's it like? You went to the final of FIBA last year. You see the U.S. team that's been assembled. What's it kind of like for you, like as the excitement builds and like looking forward to like Serbia? Obviously, is going to be a contender right there with them.
I mean, we can't tread nobody, especially Olympic team USA, and we 2 summers ago we had the goal as a national team. We had a goal to qualify to the World Cup. When we qualified to the World Cup, we had a goal to qualify to Olympics. It's always like that. Constant chase to qualify somewhere. Now, when you're in Olympics, this is like you fight for medals. So this is like main event, right? So I'm just excited to be a part of it, honestly, and I'm looking forward to get together with the guys and have fun.
I'm curious, you mentioned sacrifice and those sort of things, and then I've also heard other players saying like, it's a good group. And
Mhm.
are those kind of two different things? Like we all get along, and when we're on the bus, it's a good group, but there's also this other matter of are we gritty enough? Are those kind of two separate things?
I don't
Like
think I understand.
you can all get along and everyone's
Yeah.
happy together, but there's also the other
It's-
matter of are we doing all the things on the court?
Yeah, it's we players, we don't build the teams. Like we're in a locker room. We have to find a way to. You got to be professional, and you got to be a good teammate. You got to do all this stuff that the team put you in that locker room to. So. That's all what it matters. That's how I'm. That's how I'm here. That's I wasn't doing like, I don't know, some highlights. I think all basketball world people, they like me because the way I competed and the way I wanted to win, and the contribution I was giving to the team. So that's why I see this stuff, and I had to say it.
Well, yeah, I wanted to ask you, like a couple weeks ago or something, I saw you tweet about a correction for how to spell bogey.
Oh yeah, it happened too many times, right?
Yeah.
It happened too many times. I had to tell him. I don't know who was it NBA TV or something? I don't
It
know.
happens
And
a
the
lot.
NBA.
NBA, yeah, I have to correct them. It's time. 7 years, like, they could.
So for the record, for the people, tell them how to
BOGI, simple, bogey. BOGI, right?
Yes,
Did I spell it
that's
right?
That's it.
Maybe I was spelling it wrong a couple years ago.
It's your name. How do you want them to spell it?
Yeah, maybe it was my spelling.
Is that kind of toughness, you talked about it, CC talked a lot about it, and the sacrifice, is that something that it's just like a team identity thing that y'all have to get together and say, you know what, we're going to be a little less flashy, but we're going to be tougher, and that's how we're going to win more games? How do you develop that in a team?
It's hard because you practice to win, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean if you practice more than others, you're gonna win. It gives you more chances, but you have to believe. You have to believe in the work that you're putting together, and you have to build the chemistry. I'm a big believer in the chemistry between the guys, and we didn't have that. We just didn't have it. And at some time of the season, it was I can see like it was hard for a lot of us to find that extra motivation, because you need that extra motivation, to win those games at the end of the fourth quarter, or because we can all get to the fourth quarter and tight score, but now like it's that time of the game, you gotta win. We gotta do what works the best for us. So we just didn't have that, and it's unfortunate.
Does that need to come from the coaches, the players? Like, where's that motivation? Or
It's not one guy. It's not only coaches. It's we're people. Sometimes we can't get along, and sometimes I have experience of not getting along with the guys, but you still gotta be a pro. And when you step on the court, we don't have to talk. We don't have to say the word to each other. But when we step on the court, we gotta do the job. So it's all part of experience as well. I don't know how many of the guys they had that experience. In Europe, it's a little bit easier to coach players, I think, because I feel like media here and everything that is happening, it's kind of all lights is always on everything. Like, I don't know, when I had beef with the coach, like we have beefs like every 5 games, but because I stood up off the bench and it was that moment and camera was there, it was a highlight. So sometimes people overreact because they see and they only see the highlight, but we talk for 2 years. I talked with that man for 2 years, and it's normal like to have these type of moments. And I just think just having that pressure from outside, it affects a lot your decisions. Sometimes you don't want to do it because even if it's good for your team and it's good for everyone, you don't want to step over because it looks bad, but actually it's good. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't have probably a lot of these moments.
when you say like not getting along, is it just kind of like maybe you don't get along like playing style with each other? Is it more personally like you don't get along with each other? Was
There is no like specific thing, but the things are not working together. Like that type of stuff. It could be we have a great locker room. I can tell you that. Like we talk, we we just couldn't make that transition from locker room to the court, which is, it's big difference, because when we step on the court, maybe we are too competitive with each other, we are trying to compete too much, not in other way you compete and help, in that type of way. So, which is part of the experience for everyone, I'm sure. I mean, if you talk with other guys, there is nobody happy, right? So, okay, I don't want to be in this situation next year. I don't want to be unhappy at the end of the year. So I think it's a good experience for everyone.
Thank you, Mogi.
Thank you.